There are 3 people posing for a photo while wearing face masks during the second wave of the Spanish flu in California in 1918. Chief Thomas K. Yallop from Toppenish, Washington, the chief of the Yakima Indian Tribal Council, is visiting his son, Corporal Bill Yallop. Bill was in training with an Army armored unit at the Yakima Firing Center. There's a forest of oil derricks popping up on the Signal Hill oil field in Long Beach, California in 1937. Jackknife Bridge, New York, 1905. Imagine seeing 2 Mickeys on a Parisian street in the early 1930s. That would have either elicited pure delight or sheer terror. Marilyn Monroe and Tom Ewell were in New York, filming the iconic scene from The 7-Year Itch, where the air from the subway grate blows her dress up in 1955. Young Dorothy Lamour posed with her long hair in the 1930s. There's a lion riding in the sidecar of a go-kart. This is at a Wall of Death Carnival attraction. It's in Revere Beach, Massachusetts in 1929. Nurses from a field hospital, they'd come to France by way of England and Egypt. They'd been serving for 3 years. The year was 1944. A young woman lifts her feet while embracing and kissing a uniformed United States soldier at the train station in Connecticut, 1945. This is a Halloween costume of a person wearing a dark cloak and a mask that resembles a skeleton. The skeleton mask has large eye sockets and a grinning mouth. Thomas Cole peered beneath his bandaged eye to treat the wounds of a fallen Marine. Despite his wounds, Cole continued to attend the injured in Vietnam's Central Highlands in January. Dubai, during the 1950s and 1960s. In 1939, Franklin D. Roosevelt became the first U.S. president to appear on TV. He gave a speech to open the 1939 World's Fair in New York, which was televised. Law is My Shepherd, April 13, 1931. A policeman's watching over a bunch of sheep. They're in the street, getting moved from Hyde Park to Green Park in London. It's a New Year's Eve party in the 1930s. Audrey Hepburn and her dog, Mr. Famous, 1957. Charles Lindbergh working on an engine, 1927. Marilyn Monroe visited injured troops in 1954. A worm vending machine, 1957. Shirley Temple celebrated her 8th birthday at 20th Century Fox in 1936. In the middle of the Great Depression, she was the biggest box office star in America. General Douglas MacArthur wades ashore during initial landings at Leyte, Philippine Islands, World War II. ENIAC, the first computer ever built. July 1941. An airliner is getting baggage and fuel. This is at Washington, D.C. Municipal or National Airport. The amphibicycle. This was from the 1900s. A horse is casually jumping over a table. On the table are soldiers eating lunch. This woman was a cowgirl from the 1880s. She was a cowgirl in the American West. She's wearing a hat. She has a scarf around her neck. She's holding a rope. Chimney sweep. During his year as mayor of Bethnal Green, Councillor T. Brooks still intends to clean chimneys, 1930s. Miss Ann Twynham and Smokey, 1943. The future Queen Elizabeth II is being carried up the steps of Balmoral Castle in 1927. The Shrove Tuesday Gang, from Alfta Parish, Hälsingland, Sweden, at the beginning of the 1900s. Tibby the cat listens to the radio in the 1920s. An American soldier is at an advanced Allied base with his pet kangaroo in 1942. A large pig on a farm in Hertfordshire is having a chat with a census taker. This all took place in England around 1933. A German soldier is posing his dog for a photo in 1940. Zvezda, 1955. Arnold Schwarzenegger at night school in California, 1973. There's a businessman and a secretary working in a pool. It was a heat wave in Berlin, Germany in 1926. Al Capone, who was 5 years old, is on the right with his brother in 1904. All right, let's talk about the Las Vegas Strip in 1969. The San Francisco earthquake of 1906 at a Bay Area flea market. This is an original picture of a religious ceremony being held in Spain. A United States soldier shares a chocolate bar with a local Japanese lady in 1946. All right, let's see. A young couple, maybe in their late 20s, are shown. The man is tall and fair, with a walrus mustache. He's got his arm around the woman, who has dark hair. They're dressed for some fun outdoors, possibly a picnic. There's also a photo of a group of people, maybe a family or friends gathered around some sort of vehicle. The vehicle could be a carriage or a car, and there's a dog in the photo too. Then there's a view of a group of people, again, maybe a family or friends. They're all sitting down, posed for the shot. It's outside, and it looks like a nice day. There are a couple of children in the group. Next, there's a photo of a lady and a couple of children. They're on a path, maybe in a park or garden. The children are playing with what looks like a toy cart or something similar. There's another group photo. This one includes several adults, some children, and a dog. It looks like they are posing in front of a building. Here's a photo of a little girl. She's wearing a long dress and holding what looks like a small ball. This is an atomic casualty from Nagasaki, Japan in 1945. War in a Gondola, 1940. Edgware Road Station, 1863. Horse shows. Ralph Coffin is jumping his horse, Rabbit, over Sylvanus Stokes' Rolls-Royce. This happened in Washington in 1916. The Gaz torpedo from 1951. Children in Texas went to school during the Dust Bowl in 1936. They wore face coverings to prevent sand pneumonia. Mohandas Gandhi marches from his ashram in Sabermanti to the coastal town of Dandi to revolt against a British ban on making salt out of seawater from March 12, 1930 to April 5, 1930. The Wright brothers airplane. The first flight took place in Kitty Hawk Valley in 1903. Marines of the 5th Division are inching their way up a slope on Red Beach No. 1 toward Surbachi Yama as the smoke of the battle drifts about them in 1945. Louisa Ann Swain, the first American woman to ever vote in a general election. A Dutch boy has a pillow strapped to his backside to soften the fall while skating on ice in 1933. France used to have these public urinals, called pissoirs. It's a German fire engine from 1907. Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley, 1951. Viborg Cathedral after the bombing during World War II. Steven Spielberg's hanging out with Jaws. The visit of British Colonial Secretary Ian MacLeod was marked by mass demonstrations and protests. This happened in northern Rhodesia in 1960. An MGM employment portrait of 19-year-old Ava Gardner from 1941. Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston, 1971. It was a Sunday at Coney Island in 1949. A British sailor stands with the Shotley Barracks mascot monkey sitting atop his shoulder, 1918. Jetpacks. Robert Corder soars through the air during a test of his flying jetpack in Fort Myer, Virginia, on June 10, 1969. A newlywed couple is posing in their wedding clothes in a barnyard. They're framed by a white picket fence. This was captured by traveling photographer Albert J. Ewing sometime between 1896 and 1912 in Ohio or West Virginia. Welsh athlete pioneer Ivy Russell and her house around the 1930s. At one point, she was declared the strongest woman in the world. A class photo of Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg, then called Leningrad, around 1960. The Stridsvagn L5 tank. It was in Germany in 1929. This public service announcement is about not drinking alcohol. It's from the early 1900s. It reads, "Drink water. It is the best beverage." Then it says, "One man, one vote, one woman, one vote, and no booze." It also states, "Vote dry." Finally, it says, "Don't be a bum. Vote dry." Restoring of Viking runestone, Sweden, 1936. The Sioux Nation of Native Americans had teepees spread across the Great Plains in the 1800s. Marcia Pinkenfield, who was 6 months old, won a very unusual competition and was chosen as the most beautiful child in America back in 1927. A collision with a tree, Boston, 1930s. Monet with his wife, Alice, 1908. A bullet bra, 1940s. Lee is considered the most unsuccessful tank of the Second World War, 1940. Sledding down Art Hill after the 1904 World's Fair was over in St. Louis, 1904. Hey, mister, I can fix that tire for a Coke, a cap gun, 5 army men, and a hula hoop, 1946. Funnel repair. Workmen are removing a funnel from the P&O liner, the SS Ranpura, at the Royal Albert Docks in London during a refitting in the 1930s. People are fighting to get on a plane in Nha Trang on April 1, 1975, during the U.S. withdrawal from South Vietnam. George Washington's face is being carved into Mount Rushmore. The U.S. Army was practicing aerial bombing in 1921. England, 1938. A policeman is catching a group of children. They've climbed under a canvas canopy to watch a circus performance. A man is riding an ostrich. These Halloween masks from the 1920s are scaring. It's a family portrait from the 1950s of a ventriloquist. Sun Girl Quest place-getters are posing at Sutton's Beach in 1953. It's a disguise of British military equipment. The equipment is made to look like elephants, and it was used in India during World War II. A young Inuit girl is carrying her pet husky on her back. It's the 1920s. The people of Warsaw, Poland are trying to rise up against the German troops and police. They entered the ghetto to deport its inhabitants during World War II in 1943. Entertainers are wearing zoot suits for Hit Parade of 1943. "13-year-old Dolly Parton, just hours before she made her Grand Ole Opry debut, singing George Jones's song, 'You Gotta Be My Baby.' An Italian harpist is entertaining children on the street in the 1870s.